Resident Evil 4 is a classic game in my opinion. Probably one of the best games in the Resident Evil franchise. I remember playing it for the first time and just being wowed by the visuals and the overall atmosphere that this game had conveyed to me. And now, years and years and years later, it is coming to Nintendo Switch. I love Resident Evil 4. I played it for the first time on PlayStation 2. It has been on Nintendo platforms in the past, but having it on Switch means you can take it with you on the go, and that is absolutely fantastic. Today, we are here to talk about the Switch version of Resident Evil 4 and whether you should pick it up and if it is worth its hefty asking price. Alright, so before we get into all of that, make sure to smash that like button. That really does help us out a ton, guys. More than you know. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and let us know in the comments below what your favorite Resident Evil game is and why. Alright, but with all that out of the way, Resident Evil 4. Is the port on Nintendo Switch good? I am happy to report that it is, or the Switch version. I know some people are kind of unhappy with the word port for these games, but that's what we're using here. Alright, it runs well, it plays well, it looks good, the frame rate is steady. As far as performance, there isn't a lot to complain about. It looks exactly how I remember looking, and one thing that I don't remember, I hadn't played Resident Evil 4 in a while. It took me a little while to get used to the controls. I found it way more beneficial to switch over to the second controller option, and it moves over the aiming to the left stick, so if you are having a little bit of trouble with the default controls, maybe move it to control type 2. I found that helped me a lot, but once I got used to it, because look, it's an old game. The way it controls isn't super up to date, and part of me is honestly glad that they kept it like this, but it did take me a little while to adjust to that. But once I adjusted, I was totally fine to go on my adventure. Leon is probably my favorite protagonist in Resident Evil. I love playing as him. He's just like so cool in this game. So I was more than happy to go on my mission to save the president's daughter once again. Now, we'll take a look at handheld footage in a little bit, but for now, what you're seeing on screen is just me playing the game sort of close to the beginning, and here you can see that the performance is really good. You're not going to see any stutters, you're not going to see any drops in frame or anything like that. So happy to report that. The one thing that we do have to talk about, and I hate that we have to talk about this, but I feel like we do. It is a $30 game on Nintendo Switch. We know that's expensive, we've known this for a while, but that honestly really bothers me. You can get the game for $20 on Steam. You can get the game for $20 on Xbox. It's a $20 game. I don't know why it's $30 on Nintendo. Wait, scratch that. I do know why it's $30 on Nintendo Switch, and that is greed. Capcom just wants the extra $10. They know that people are going to buy it anyways. They're going to get me. You know, I'm there for a day one purchase for Resident Evil 4 no matter what. The other Resident Evil games that are out, Zero and the original Resident Evil, are not as easy of a purchase for me at $30. I wish they were $20, and I feel like this would be an absolute must-own on the platform if it was $20. The fact that they're charging $10 more just because they can is really not good, and I don't want to see that going forward. So it almost pains me to say that I hope that people make a stand and maybe don't pick it up right away, or wait until it's on sale a little bit before they pick it up. That way Capcom and many other publishers know that they can't just charge extra on Switch for no reason at all. Now, we do have the extra added value of being able to take it portably. It's the first time you can take Resident Evil 4 portably, and it plays like really good in handheld. We're going to get into that here in a moment, but my overall thoughts on the game are, before we switch over to handheld, is the game is still top tier. Now, obviously, visually, it doesn't look anywhere near as good as the Resident Evil 2 remake that came out, but this is HD. You're not going to get any black rectangles on the side or anything like that. They did bring over the HD version that is available for $20 elsewhere, like I mentioned, so I'm happy with that. This isn't a full-on remake. It's more of a little bit of an up-res and a re-release. It's going to be up to you if you think it's worth $30. For me, I would feel much better if it was at $20, but the game is still timeless. I feel like the game itself is classic. I love Resident Evil 4. I think I might even love it more than most people, although I do know that a lot of people are really, really into this game in particular, but I do think it's worth your time. Maybe wait for a sale, because I do think the asking price is a little steep. It runs well. It looks good. I wish it had gyro. It doesn't have any gyro that I can find. So that's unfortunate. But with all that said, I fully think that this is a good purchase for first-time buyers. If you've played Resident Evil 4 before, maybe there is a little bit less value for you here. Yes, you can take it on the go, and that's up to you whether you think that is enough for you. But if this is going to be the first time you've ever played through this game, maybe you don't feel as bad that you paid $30. Maybe you don't feel burned. It is a full game. It's a full experience. It's not a short game by any means. So maybe you'll be happy with it. That is going to be up to you. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into Handheld. Now, as some of you guys may know, Zach and I have been playing Handheld a ton lately, way more than the first couple of years of Nintendo Switch. What you are seeing now is me actually playing in the method that Zach has been preferring lately, and that is playing tabletop with a Pro Controller. I'm off to the side so you don't see any of the glare, but as you can see, the game looks super good in Handheld mode. I've had an amazing time taking this game with me on the go, and I am happy to report that it holds up. I thought I'd show you a boss battle here, one of the cooler looking boss battles. We're fighting this giant monstrosity here. I don't even want to call it a zombie. It's like a giant golem that has been infected with the virus, and it's a fun little boss battle. We get some help along the way, but as you can see here with this cutscene, everything looking smooth. You see Leon being all acrobatic, doing backflips, ready to almost box this giant golem. Of course, we're not gonna actually box him, we're gonna shoot him a whole lot, but yeah. Again, I just thought that this was a good showcase for what the game looks like and runs like when you are playing either tabletop or handheld. And like everything else about the game, it is good. It's really, really good. Honestly, the only deterrent I have to maybe keep people away from the game is the price. It has nothing to do with the performance. And if you've never played this, there is some absolutely epic boss battles. You saw one on a boat during the direct feed portion of the video, and you're seeing one now here with the handheld. I thought I'd show you a couple other early boss battles, but there's some really cool stuff coming up, and I can't wait for you guys to experience it yourself. Alright, I'm gonna let you enjoy the rest of this boss battle, but let me know in the comments below what you think. Are you excited to pick up Resident Evil 4 on Nintendo Switch? Will you be picking it up? Will you be waiting for a sale price? Sound off. I want to know. I'm very curious how this game is going to do for Capcom, and if maybe they're going to learn a lesson going forward about maybe pricing their games a little bit more appropriately. With all that out of the way, enjoy the rest of the boss battle. You guys have been absolutely fantastic, and that is pretty much it. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not already subscribed. Hit the notification bell. That helps us out a ton, as well as liking the video, hitting the thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'm out of here. We appreciate each and every single one of you. SwitchForce out.